Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got a fantastic rack. I've got a bingo here. I've got Crozier with the blank as an S and Orices. But can I make the blank a less helpful letter? Cornea. Let me just have a quick squiz. I want to play fairly quickly in case opponent bails. So, not seeing anything yet. Ocrea. Yeah, I'll go with that. Getting the C doubled. Ooh, so much for a bingo roll. Only one vowel here and some clunky tiles through an E, and there is one. I could play unvexed. And opponent blocks that, fortunately for only 20 points. So the other... Interesting, you've got this vowel O in Ocrea, so I could play Vox there, and what's attractive about this is that it's really blocky. Opponent's going to struggle to score. I'm providing very little with the play of Vox. Is there any way? Am I missing anything fantastic? Not a great rack leave. Very dependent on drawing a vowel. But I'm not. I think if I can get rid of the V and the X at the same time, that's a good thing. I'm going with this. And wow, I do draw two vowels, which is fantastic. So I have Repunit on my rack. That plays in row I. Does that have an anagram? Not that I can think of. Now, what about this floating H? No. C, that could begin CI or CU. No. Okay, so Repunit or nothing at the moment. I've got a U for QU, but UE not good. Okay, 13 for opponent, that's good, but they've gone in my Repunit spot. Have they provided a new one? Yes, they have. Good grief. I was going through the motions, but look, here we go. Repunit for 77. Wow. So super tight board, but there was just that one slot for a bingo. U doesn't take an S. Now, pretty good for 7 random tiles. No bingo here, I don't think. But super balanced and a great scoring tile in the Z. And the board remains tight in terms of opponent scoring. Rye takes a B in front. Column 2 has potential because of the front hooks for X, but any play in column 2 is going to provide good scoring options in column 1. REI takes an N. I've got one. Oh, wow. 36 points. Great play by opponent through two disconnected tiles on the board. Now, this is nice because I can play Zep. Must be careful not to just play the first move I see, but it's got to make sense to play the Z. Can't see any 3-letter plays ending IZ. I could play Zip in that spot, keeping lanes for 20 points. But what about doing this? 37, I think, even though it's burning the E, this is worth doing. It's providing very little for opponent. There are no 2-letter plays ending in Z. I am going with this. Great, and again, I draw a vowel just when I needed one. Through an I would have albinism and mini-labs, but this board remaining super tight, and I've got a 130-point lead. F takes F, S, and T. I'm reluctant to burn my S. This doesn't look a particularly valuable spot. I'm minded to wait for opponent to open the board. Okay, well, they've done that now. 41 points. Great score on a tight board. They haven't provided an I. They haven't provided any vowels. But what about the consonants? Billmans, man-bills. Not seeing anything. Y could end ly or ILY. Wow, this doesn't feel a million miles away from a bingo. But I'm not seeing one. H, shambling with H and G. And T. No, so I am not seeing a bingo. Column 10 available for plays with EWS. Not many of those. Very few 7-letter lanes on the board, and in any event, I don't think I've got one. I've got S and M for plays beginning Simb. If 15 minutes on my clock. HM is good, but the best I can do there is MA. Oh, I was looking across the top of Ethel to try and burn my M and B. I thought I had something. I don't. I could play Biz, but I'd really like to, well, try and pile on the score. I lead by 100. That could easily vanish if I get itty-bitty scores. I'm still considering these floaters in case there's a bingo here. It would be very painful to miss one. No, I'm not seeing one. Wow. That was a good 5-letter lane. Provided nothing. I can see Biz, but the rack leave, very consonant heavy. I've been lucky with my draws. Aha, I mentioned Bray. So I can do this, bam, for 27. And the Z has gone, so, and in any event, any play on that square is only going to score once, because nothing goes in front of Mu or Bray, apart from S. So I'm going with this. Or am I? I could play Beamer in that spot. I think that's worth doing for the extra points. Plus, it's restricting the T and the H. I'm going with this. Great, I do draw vowels. I was just waiting to see 7 consonants as my punishment for burning that second vowel, but not to be. So I have secondly onto the Y and condyles through it. Fairly high chance that will be blocked. So, is there a 7 with this rack? Don't think so. But is there? There may not be a lane for it, but it's good to be aware of 7s in case opponent creates a lane. But no, I'm not seeing one. EF is a pair of tiles to play through. Not seeing anything there. What about this H? A play could begin with the H, or begin SH, or have SH in the middle. And opponent plays after about 6 or 7 minutes. They play rung for 12, which is great. Condyles is left alone. I'm not seeing anything through the G. Rung takes an S. So let me play condyles for 68. Ooh, not a great pick. Still 1 H to come for column 15. 4-letter plays or words with H in 4th place. Now, am I far enough ahead to survive? ST is good. Do I have a 5-letter T play? Yes, I do. I have Tartar. It does retain double D. But it stops opponents scoring in that spot, and A and T, well, certainly A in last place, not massively useful for opponent. Still a lot of O's to come. In fact, a lot of tiles to come, 38, including a blank and 2 S's. So rung only takes an S. Column 2, 7-letter bingo lane remains available. Wow, nice bingo for opponent. Yeah, and there's enough tiles now that a second back-to-back bingo could be breathing down my neck. So, I could play Tartar. But how dangerous is column 8? Opponent could get a bingo score by sticking their J above this E. So what about doing this? The same play, but here for 18 points. It's hard to get the J doubled in column 15, but not impossible. Ojim would do the job. But there are a lot more 4-letter plays with J in first place. Yeah, loads of A's to come, so I'm happy burning all 3. And I pull the J myself. Onto an E, I would have add jur. Now, opponent's player engorged has taken out the column 2 7-letter lane. Do I have a play, a 5-letter play beginning with J? Jaded. Wow, that would be fantastic. Bingo-y-ish score, and not setting up anything for an opponent because there are no 2-letter J plays. That's great, and that stays available. Yep, no reason not to play this. Jaded for 60. Well, only 1-point tiles and no bingo, but getting closer to the end of the game with only 19 tiles in the bag. So the K sweetens column 15, but not massively. 20 points available there. What about the bottom of column 15? Nice opportunity to burn tiles, so the play would need to begin with T, O or I, or be a 6-letter play with those tiles in second place. So I have Tyra, T-A-I-R-A, only 20 points, but burning 5 tiles. Let me count the remaining vowels. 11 out of 26, so fairly balanced. Wow, 41 points. Ouch. My lead only 107. This is when a scoring tile would be really handy to score 30 points. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I don't have any scoring tiles on my rack, and the scoring tiles on the board, well, they're just not available. So 1 U to come. What are the remaining scoring tiles? F, H, M, V, W. To what extent do I need to take out column 15? And if I don't, what do I do? I certainly want to turn over tiles to expedite the end of the game. This is the last T, the last R. Tricky. 11 minutes on my clock. Just wondering about how dangerous this T is. There's 1 E left for an I-E-S-T ending play. I'd like to burn an A and a U, but it's hard to do that. If I play Tyra, I'm keeping an O, and there are loads of O's to come. Can I get value from the Y and the B? Yeah, if I play ratio, that's sticking an R in column 8. What about a play down from this H? No, just not seeing anything. Can't get value from the Z. I'm going with Tyra. I don't like it. I just haven't seen anything better. Tyra for 20. I do draw another O. I do draw another U. And no scoring tiles, so not good. But the one good thing about Tyra is that it burns 5 tiles. There are now only 10 tiles in the bag. Great. Only 26 points for opponent. 7 tiles in the bag. They're not very bingo-y. I've drawn the last E. Fantastic. I think I just need to keep scoring here. Keep turning over tiles, rather. Oboe is good. 9 minutes on my clock. Can't see a way of getting value from the Y. Well, the tightness of the board has just remained throughout, which is to my advantage, but it means that this end part of the game is slightly slow and tortuous. It's just hard to, and I'm not fussing over trying to find the best play, it's just hard to find any candidate plays. I don't think ungo is good, I think it's just up go. Oh, well, why don't I just keep a balanced rack and play OU for 9. Good grief. But I do need to play 1U, and this is all I've seen. Great, a scoring tile, or scoring tiles. I draw the M and the V. That should make a difference. Low takes an A and a G in front. No A's left, but I do have a G, so I could play Gov in that spot. Opponents played Shin somewhere. Shin and Smew for 22, so I lead by 100. 2 tiles in the bag. Could opponent have a bit? This would be unimaginably painful if opponent bingoes out to win. Utterly avoidable, I'm sure. Just looking to see if I've got a play beginning with V. Yes, I do. This is going to empty the bag, but there are no 2-letter V plays. It's 23 points, which is going to give me a lead of 439, a lead of 120. That's got to be enough to survive any row O bingo. I'm going to extend this to Vago for 30. Okay, so what has opponent got? And what can I do with this final rack if opponent doesn't have a bingo? Well, the EF hooks have not been used and I can't use them. I have Moa in column 14, which will keep UN. Moz available in row D. Okay, opponent played Tef. Excuse me. So Tef takes F and S. I have neither. So opponent can play geese and tefts for 33 points. So foin was a nice play. It's not going to win for opponent, but it is nice to go out with a flourish, and I don't think there's anything I can do to block that. Well, is it worth blocking? I think I can block it. Well, what does Moa score? 20. Although I can block geese and tefts, I can't block opponent going out. Why is that? Yeah, because they could have played Sig and Tartars. So I am going with Moa for 20. Now, surely geese is coming down in good time, and it is. And the final score, 374 for opponent, 466 for me, a winning margin of 92 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game. Opponent went walkabout in the middle and threatened an unlikely comeback at the end. So it was me to go fast. I have loads of bingos on offer. I played Okria, possibly Courier better, but Okria did have the advantage of not taking any hooks. Opponent plays Chi. I won Tux. I don't like putting a T in the middle of column 1 and then you're straight into Vox, so I think that's fine. Opponent plays U. And I have Repunit, the only bingo, so delighted to not only spot the word, but spot that it played with a triple overlap. Opponent plays Fisher, which was a great spot through disconnected tiles. D4 Zep, that was my play. Ooh, opponent with Lengthy and Thanely. Nowhere for them, but they do find a good score in Ethel. Phew, no missed bingo here. So what do? I play Beamer for 30. I could have stuck an S on the end for 8 more points. Interesting. Although this isn't an S-friendly board, the S is worth about 8 points, so I think I'd rather have it on the rack if I can only get 8 points for it. This is when opponent disappeared on 17 minutes and came back on 9, I think. So what do they have? No bingo, wow. Well, maybe they really were spending all that time looking for one. Plenty of 7s on the rack, Gwenon's, Dungeon, etc. So they came back and played Rung. And I have Condyle, so I sacrificed 18 points, and I still like that. There is a blank in the open, sticking an S in penultimate place in row A. Well, does opponent, well, endorses a 7, and in any event, whether or not opponent has a 9-timer is not relevant to the decision because I don't know my opponent's rack, but given my lead, I think a 9-timer was the only way opponent could catch me, or certainly a very decent bingo score, and Condyles minimises the chances of that compared to secondly. So opponent does have a bingo, they play Engorged. And now this is where the long, slow endgame begins with a third of the tiles to come. So I played Tartar for 18, K9. Dada available, but Dada wouldn't have blocked this J spot, which the T does. And although I only mentioned the J, you can see that opponent could have played Kuhl in that spot for a really big score. So opponent plays Beck for 34, and I have Jaded for 60, so pretty much the game is mine to lose now. Opponent plays Torquay. Oh, I played Tyra. B6, well, Aorta, sticking an A and an O in the open. I'm not very keen on that, so I don't think Tyra looks terrible. Now, opponent plays low. My rack deteriorates, so I play OU for 9. It's a score sacrifice. F6. Oh wow, look at this. Gur and Sook. Just didn't spot that U could go between S and Q, but yeah, 30 points definitely would have been worth doing, and it would have split up the duplicate U. Now, opponent plays Shin. I'm keen to take out bingo lanes, so I play Vago for 30. Yep, that looks fine. No bingo for opponent. They play Foyne. K10. Etna is good, so Nam available for 22. Instead, I play Moa for 20. And finally, opponent goes out with Geese. So, what a game. Super exciting stuff. Always fun to win. And although I did establish a good lead, it didn't feel super guaranteed, given that there were lanes and good enough tiles to bingo in the pack. But I think you've only got to be burnt once to be wary of counting your victories before you're across the line. Anyway, many thanks to opponent for a good battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.